Okay, so welcome to this new edition of MatNum. MatNum is a playlist where basically I talk about digital matter and my app development, photo app development, how I transform image data for my own apps, basically Camare, Vika, Darkcam, and Digital Paula. And so I'll show the examples I worked on the past months. But like for those who followed the series, like last month, I'm kind of stuck in development. I'm really using my apps mostly and trying to figure out new ideas where I want to develop my apps, my filters, my algorithms. And one thing by taking photos randomly in my daily life is I really feel that digital matter modifies somewhat the story, but not the souvenir. It really is something similar to film, as you can see with those three pictures of clouds. And here in that particular example, I think what's interesting is matter as a film will give you a slightly different poetry to your imaging, or a slightly different approach for the viewers too. And here, the two pictures on the left, that's two versions of the same image. And that gave me an idea that I already had since quite some time, but I think it's really taking form now. It's probably I would need to have a random effect bracket mode, which would, instead of just having one random picture every time I take a random picture with my apps, I would have more than one image at once without the need to go in the experimental editor of Camare, for example. So yeah, that's probably where I'm going to go. And again, as you can see on those two images, it's the same image, basically it's the same feeling, but there's a really different material to it, and it can only be graphical, for example, just because you want a coherence between some series, or it's just the feeling that comes out of it. You might want one or the other, whatever. But and also, as you can see on the right, that's actually arriving in Serbia. Doesn't really stick out on this picture, but the treatment of the data of the image makes a big difference to me. Here again, the idea of bracketing with random parameters, that I think is really something I do actually manually. I've been doing for a long time. I think it should be integrated, and now something I will be thinking about is how do I do the user experience, how I modify the user interface is going to be really important for the users to be able to use it correctly. And I should also think about using this new interface for bracketing for more classical parameters like exposure or simply speed, capture speed. Anyways, that's something I have to think about. Maybe also sequential photo captures for multi-exposure. I don't know, but I'll be looking at it. Here again, two images. So the image before was a building in Belgrade. Here, walking the streets of Belgrade again on the left. The bracketing makes really good sense. As you can see, two different versions of this building really gives something in terms of artistic sensibility that's kind of different. But yeah, and also the picture on the right, that's a sunset. That was a view from the place I was staying at. The poetry can be really increased by the digital matter transformation, in my opinion. Here again, some random wandering shots, walking in Belgrade. Here it was actually going to the Contemporary Art Museum, which is in a big park near the Sava River. The transformation of the matter makes for something I think more interesting than the plain image that would come out of the sensor usually. But again, these apps were developed for my own practice, so I do have a motivation. I wanted to have those images. Here, the picture on the left, that's actually the Danube River, just basically at the point where the Sava River gets confluence with it. And a picture of the new Belgrade in the middle, with those buildings dating from 50 years back, probably. And the picture on the right, I thought was funny because it made me think, this situation kind of made me think of The Graduates, the movie with Dustin Hoffman in 1967, where he was looking at the legs of a woman, and except here it's bent, but found interesting this scene where you have obviously those young fellows looking at this young lady's leg. Anyways, here again 3 random pictures in random mode using Camare with definitely different renderings, but the souvenir is the same. And here going back, I like also airport photos, but on the left that's a Belgrade airport with this old airplane in the back, or simply Geneva shots in Switzerland. The wet, the moist weather, let's call it like this, gray and moist. When I came back with some random shots, and I think also an interesting thing was those filters, those algorithms that I use to randomly morph using my interface. The final editing, the final choice I take from my pictures are gonna follow my mood. So it doesn't matter if it's a digital transformation or analog film or non-modified pictures. I think in certain cases you really try to convey something, and so you should follow your moods. And here it's kind of dark, not deep dark, but I went for black and white, so a shot on a terrace or during a barbecue on the right, or some random shot. I don't really remember where I took it in the middle. I think, or also, I tend to like tight shots when I'm in these kinds of moods. So those 2 elderly people on the left, that's using my iPhone 12 Pro Max, which has basically an 80mm or 90mm equivalent a lens for full frame, or wide angle here at Canal 54 Bar, and in the right picture something more graphical with trees and electrical lines for trolley buses. Anyways, I think I didn't work much on software, but I really tried to use those apps, and I actually felt like I wanted to use my apps. So that's the goal of a photographic tool. Even so, I built it for myself. I think if you should follow your desire to use something, the craving for a certain tool. And here I really crave using my apps, taking pictures. So I think that reflects the sanity of my process. But here a lone DJ, a really great DJ at Canal 54. He was alone early in an evening, and my head on the right, really pushing to the extremes the sensibility of my sensor, and using my algorithms to kind of modify this. Or here, going back to the idea of this random bracketing, basically, an image that makes sense in a series like this for me. One alone was okay, but the 3 next to each other. So it's not Warholian in terms of series, like where you have this kind of serigraphy thing. But yeah, there's something similar to it. So I'm really going to go develop this new tool for my apps. Here again, I think I really use my apps as a diary for my days, and obviously I choose the pictures. I do a selection. There's some editing process. I choose what corresponds to my feeling. And here on the right, interesting, I started developing a new ensaturator, so one of those new computational modules, and that's one that just got caught into the random generator. I know it because there's some kind of weird border around, and it didn't really make sense, but I liked actually the picture how it came out here, so I might get back to it one of these days soon. And here's 3 last pictures, again, hoping for a new version of any of the apps next month with some new modules. Maybe this random filter generator bracketing, who knows, but yeah, catch you next time.